I'm going to take advantage of these lines to measure straight. All right, and this comes out to 60. Okay. So the stretch factor is the difference between your hip measurement and the measurement of the fabric around your hips. So 95 minus 60 is 35. Now we have to take one last measurement before we begin. And that's going to be from the crotch level. I'll measure it over on this side. But where your crotch level begins to how high up you want your panties to go. So this measurement, by the way, is not so serious. You know, if you cut it a little too short, don't worry, just add a piece of fabric on top afterwards. So, but try to get a general idea of how tall you want your panties to be. So, I guess I want them about 16. So add a centimeter to whatever, or in your case, if you're in the United States, a half inch to whatever measurement you take. So I'll make it 17 centimeters tall. I want to cut this 17 centimeters tall. The width right now is not important. Just draw a nice straight line. And I'll just fold it in half to make it easier to cut. Now with pants or underpants, etc., usually the back part is bigger than the front part of the pattern. They're two different sizes. And the back part goes up higher usually than the front part too. So this will be the front part. Put it on yourself and make sure it's right in the middle. If you're wearing pants, you can use the seam of the pant to put it, you know, if they're fitting you the way you like them to. And line the one edge of the newspaper up with the seam, or the middle of your two sides of your body. And bring it around to the other side, and line the other side. You'll have to cut it off so it's at the middle on the other side. So I'm marking it with my finger. And now I'm just going to fold it there so I don't lose my place. That's where I'm going to cut. For the back part, I'm going to do the same thing, except the back has to be a little bit taller and a little bigger in the back. So I'm going to measure 20 centimeters tall for the back. And what you just did with the front, measuring the front from the half of your body to the other half of your body, do the same with the back. Start, again, you can use the seam if you're wearing pants. Line up the one edge with the seam of your pants if you like the way they're fitting you. Put it down where your panties are going to go. Wrap it to the other side, and it will end where the other mid-seam is. So that's right there. I'll fold it there so I don't lose my place and cut it. Now, I just want to show you then, this is the back piece. Sometimes you have to do it several times until you get it right, but the back piece is larger than the front piece, as you can see. Usually, in pants and in panties and in skirts, whatever you make for the bottoms, usually the back piece will be larger than the front piece because there's more to cover back there. Now, that would be the size if it were on a non-stretchy fabric. But now we have to take into account the stretch factor, which we said was 35 centimeters, and divide that by 2 because you have two pieces. So 35, okay, I'm going to make it easy. Let's say it's 34. So 34 divided by 2 would be 17. So cut off 17 centimeters from each piece. And you'll be seeing this get even smaller after this. So here's the 17. I'll just mark 17 and 17. And we want to leave a centimeter in there, however. So let's cut off 16, a seam allowance, which I always forget. So let's take off 16 centimeters. The seam allowance, if you don't know what it is, that's when you sew it, you're losing a piece of fabric too, because it's going to be sewn inside the seam, so you've got to calculate that in to any pattern you make. Sorry, sometimes I forget to talk about the seam allowance. So 16 will be cut off from here, and we'll do the same for the top part. Fold it on that line you just made. So we're cutting off this.